Good morning, everyone. How are you this morning? It is Debbie Scott here, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Brigden, Ontario. And it is Make a Card Monday. It's Monday, January the 12th. And I'm just getting my iPad on the right screen here. Sorry, I lost track of time. I was working on Wednesday's project and realized it got to be 12 o'clock. Alrighty, so I think that looks to be working. So I'm working with the Made with Love suite, which if you saw on Saturday, I believe I posted, my project for the design team went live on, I believe it went live on Friday, and then I posted it to my account on Saturday. There it is there. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be working with this week. I have a few projects to show you. I have quite a few actually, because I made a bunch and then chose from there which project to share with the design team. I just, oh shoot. I have to plug in my iPad. I'm so sorry. And let's see if it will reach. There we go. So I'm going to show you everything that comes in the suite. This suite is in the mini catalog, which went live on January the 6th, and it's good until April. So you have lots of time to look through there. So this is the suite here, and it comes with lots of goodies. We have a 12 by 12 designer paper. We have an embossing folder, embellishments, ribbon, some little gift bags in case you need to make some treats for Valentine's Day, the stamp set, and the die set. So I got to play with all of those goodies for my project. And then also matching that suite, there is a scrapbooking kit, workshop kit as well. So this will give you all the instructions, exactly like where to cut everything to make these 6 layouts. And it comes with 3 punch out and sticker sheets. So that's nice. And it also comes with a cardstock that you need. Now, if you're just wanting bits and pieces from this, if you go to the back of the catalog, this is in the scrapbooking, which side? You can see this side, scrapbooking from scratch section of the catalog, and then you can buy all of those individually. Now this one only has 1 sticker sheet, so that is the only difference here, is that you won't get all 3 of them, you just get 1, and you get all the same designer's papers. You could order just the cardstock if you want that. You can order just the stamp set. I got this stamp set and I'm going to use it on Wednesday for the layout that I'm sharing on Wednesday. So this is the stamp set and dies. It's the Endless Love. It says, today and always, hugs and kisses, happy Valentine's Day, sending you love, X's and O's, and then it's got some great dies in there as well. You also get in this suite a package of these gusseted little envelopes here. I believe you get 16 in a package. And then you can decorate those however you like. I have one of those decorated up, so I will be sharing that later in the week. And then it had great little embellishments, like super cute. So this one's a little love note. It's a little envelope. Super, super cute. And the hearts and all the little goodies. So we're going to use a few of those today. It also came with a great bubble bath, what's this called? Faux linen ribbon. This one was really nice to work with because it's thin. It ties into a bow really, really nicely. And I really liked using this ribbon. I've used it on a few projects. We're going to use that today too. The other thing in this suite was the embossing folder. So I've just cut out a little heart, and I've used some two-tone cardstock, which is our cardstock that has a white core inside. So you can see in the back it's a bit of a lighter shade, and then on the front it is the true shade, this true Stampin' Up! Color. So I've just gone over it with a sanding block, just to bring out some of that white so you could really see the heart pattern on there. And then of course you always get the the designer series paper, which I was using over here. I have bits and pieces of it left because I've used quite a bit of it, but I will go through and show you each individual sheet on Wednesday, because I'm going to be using that on Wednesday. We're not using it today. So the card we're making today is going to be a slimline card. So I'm going to show you how I cut that. We're going to bring in our trimmer. And we're going to cut this. We're going to leave the 8.5, and we're going to cut on the long end at 7 1/4. And then we're going to score at 3 5/8. And we want to score, not cut, so that's our lighter blade. And then we're going to be using this extra piece as our base. So we are going to, or sorry, not as our base, as our layer. So we're going to cut that down to 8 1/8. So it's a bit smaller than our base. And then we're going to cut at 3 1/4. I am using the thick white cardstock. I like to use it for our card bases. It's a little more sturdy. Alright, so I'm just burnishing that fold nicely with my bone folder. And our next layer is going to be this beautiful shimmer cardstock. This is, you know what? I'm not sure if it's in the catalog or if it's an online exclusive. It might be online exclusive, but it comes with 6 sheets, and you get Bubble Bath, Lemon Lolly, and oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank. Pool Party. You get 2 of each color, and it's absolutely beautiful. It has that gorgeous shimmer. So we're going to be using a little piece of the Bubble Bath, and I've cut it the same size as our white layer. So that is 3 1/4 by 8 1/8. Yeah, that is the same as our layer. So I'm just going to set that aside for a minute, and we're going to start with some stamping. So I'm bringing in our stamp set here. I'm going to start with these hearts. And we're going to stamp that in Bubble Bath. Just going to pull in a little scrap paper here, because we are going to be stamping off a little bit. All right. So we're just going to stamp down the left-hand side, trying to get those hearts nice and straight. We're gonna go all the way down the side here, kind of getting over a little, so try to bring that back. So do you make Valentine cards? I usually make one for my husband. Occasionally I will make one for the kids as well. Just depends what kind of crafty mood I'm in. So we are finished with those little hearts. And yes, this stamp set has like a little splatter image. So I'm grabbing that. And we are done with bubble bath. So I'm going to close that up. And I'm bringing in Strawberry Slush. I love this color. So I'm not sure if I want to do full strength or if I want to stamp off once. I think maybe I'll go full strength. And we're just going to stamp that randomly beside our hearts. And turn those a little so they're not all exactly the same. We're going to do that all down the side there. Now, I did get some ink on my block, so I just want to be careful not to rock my block when I am stamping, so I don't get that extra ink onto my card. There we go. I'm going to get that clean on my chamois. And we are going to use that again. But before I stamp, we're going to do a little bit of splattering. So what do I want to splatter with? I brought in, what did I bring? Some light real red, because I don't have a bubble bath blend, I don't believe. No. So I do want my splatter to only be on that left side. I'm going to move this because we don't want splatter on there. I'm going to open this back out. And then I'm just going to grab another scrap piece as well to cover up that right-hand side of my card, because I don't want any splatter on there. I just want it on the left. So you're going to take your brush end, and you can do this a couple of ways. You can use your bone folder, tap on there. That would be the best for your marker. If you want a little bit bigger of a flick, you can flick it on the edge of your lid. It's a little bit hard on your tip. Keep that in mind. We're done with that. And we are going to stamp Sending You Love. Sorry, I should have taken that little sheet off at the beginning because it's so loud. So we want Sending You Love. We're going to put Sending You right about there. Right by that big heart there. And we're going to stamp that in Strawberry Slush. Oops. Just going to stand up a bit so I can make sure that I get that straight on there. As straight as I can. I'll give that a clean on my chamois. And then Love, we are going to do on a scrap piece of white. And I'm stamping that in the same color, in Strawberry Slush. I'm going to stamp right in the middle of my scrap paper, and you'll see why here in 1 second. Leave that on for a few seconds, let all of that ink soak into your paper, and that'll give you a nice image. So we're done stamping. Set that aside. And I am going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I realize you won't be able to see all of this in the screen, but this will give you the idea. And just want to make sure I have the right size here. That's the one we want. And we're going to cut that out using the Nested Essentials dies. So that's this one. I love that die set. I use it quite often. Alrighty, so we're gonna get that lined up. And we're going to run that through. Sorry about it jiggling. I won't waste all of this. I will still use the little bits and pieces all the way around when I need to stamp some things and cut them out. And that's going to go right underneath. So I'm going to attach this with some dimensionals. Used up the last of that one. Oh, before I do this, I do want to kind of rough up the edges of my base, or of my layer. I do this a lot, but if it's something that you don't really like, then you can just skip this step. I usually use kind of an older set of scissors, just so they're not quite as sharp, but mine have went missing since Christmas. My craft room is kind of the catch-all at Christmas time. We wrap gifts down here, and all the presents and the decoration boxes get down here, and I haven't seen my other set of scissors since Christmas, so I'm not sure where they got to. Hopefully they didn't get thrown out. Maybe I'll find them next year when I get the wrapping paper back out. That just adds a bit of visual interest on your card. And I really like that step. Throw that on the floor for the vacuum. And then we are going to pop this up on top. And before we adhere this to our card base, I'm going to add a bow. And I'm just going around the entire layer here. And I'm going to put the bow at the top of my card. I've probably got lots of extra here, but that's okay. Well, no, not really. But I do like a nice big bow on my cards. This one got a little twisty. I'll Just kind of finagle that until it looks how I want it to look. It's always harder to make a bow on camera than it is any other time. There we go. And I'm just going to trim the ends here so that they are about the same length. And I'm just going to move that up a little bit so that it's not covering up my words. There. All right, so I'm going to bring back in my base and my bubble bath shimmer paper. And I'm just going to kind of put that on a bit of an angle. I'm going to put my white top layer on flat to my shimmer. Look at that, I got ink on my nails. I just don't see my adhesive here. Where's my spare one? So my white layer is going to end up flat or straight, and my bubble bath is just going to be sticking out a bit, and that I'm going to put on with dimensionals. I'm just not putting any dimensionals where there are already dimensionals under there, just so it doesn't add too much bulk. If I were mailing this card, then they may charge extra for that. You never know. Always check with your post office. There we go. Excuse me. Now for our last little step, we're going to add some of these hearts. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue where I want these hearts to go. And I'll try to do a small little dab so that I don't have glue everywhere. And then I'm going to choose the strawberry slush hearts. There's also some bubble bath ones in there. I just think that these ones look nice and really pop on the project. You could also do some of these little envelopes too if you wanted. My tweezers obviously have some glue on it because everything's sticking to it. So I am going to be ready ahead of time for Valentine's Day. Oh, there's also lips in here. I forgot to point those out. Is that not so cute? Little kissy lips. All right, there we go. So there's our card. The only different thing I did on my example, maybe you will see, this is shiny. So what I have done is stamped it once in strawberry slush, and then I stamped right over top again with Versamark, and then I embossed it with clear. So with an image like this where it's nice and thick, it's pretty easy to do, to be able to line those up. Plus, when you're embossing with clear, if you're off a little tiny bit, it's not going to be a huge deal, but it does add a nice little bit of shimmer to your card. So there's our 2 cards. Oh, I did do an inside on this one. I forgot. I did Hugs and Kisses XO and some hearts along the bottom there. So, what do you think? Do you like this one? This is one that I made up that I was going to use for my project, and then I ended up going with my scrapbook page instead. But until Wednesday, have a great week, and thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and feel free to give me a like and follow on YouTube if you're watching on there. Have a great week. Bye.